Adu never believed in curses until the map started bleeding. Adu found an ancient map inside a dusty old bookstore. It showed a hidden temple deep in the jungle, but as soon as he touched it, red ink oozed from the paper, forming a warning, "Turn back now." Ignoring it, he set off on the adventure. After days of trekking, he reached the temple entrance. But something was wrong. The jungle was silent. No birds, no wind, just his own breathing. He stepped inside. The air was thick with dust. On the far end of the temple, a golden artifact rested on a pedestal. The same symbol from the map was carved onto it. As Adu reached out, boom, the door slammed shut behind him. The walls started moving inward, covered in ancient carvings that now looked like watching eyes. Then, a deep voice rumbled from the shadows. "You were warned. Now you belong to the temple." Adu's eyes widened as the floor beneath him vanished, and he fell into darkness.
James never missed the last train until the train started missing people. James sprinted into the empty subway station just as the last train pulled in. The doors slid open, and he stepped inside. Oddly, the train was nearly empty except for a few silent passengers, all staring straight ahead. The doors hissed shut, and the train lurched forward. James sat down, trying to catch his breath. That's when he noticed the passengers were vanishing. One by one, they flickered like bad reception and then blinked out of existence. Heart pounding, James stood up. "Hello," he called. No response. The train sped up faster than any subway should. The lights flickered. The windows showed only endless darkness outside. Then the overhead speaker crackled to life. A voice, low and distorted, whispered, "Final stop, you." The lights cut out. James was alone, and the train kept going.
You ever get the feeling someone's watching you? Mark walked home late, the street eerily silent. His phone buzzed a known number. He hesitated, then answered. A whisper, "Don't look behind you." His heart pounded. He glanced over his shoulder, nothing. The voice continued, closer this time. "I said, don't." He broke into a sprint, his breath ragged. His apartment was just ahead. He fumbled with the keys, shaking. As the door slammed shut, his phone buzzed again. A photo of him, taken from right behind. A woman is home alone at night, scrolling on her phone. Suddenly, she feels like someone is watching her. She glances at the window. A man is staring at her from outside. She freezes. Her heart pounds. She reaches for her phone to call the police, but when she looks back, he's gone. She sighs in relief, thinking maybe she imagined it. She gets up to check the locks, making sure everything is secure. As she walks past a mirror, she sees the man standing right behind her. Her breath catches. She spins around. Nothing is there, just silence. Then, in the reflection, the man slowly grins. He wakes up, confused, goes through his morning routine. Weird. Deja vu moments start happening. He already knows what people will say, what will happen next. He tests it, predicting events before they happen. A text from a friend, a glass falling, etc. Closing parenthesis. Ends on a cliffhanger. He wonders, am I stuck in a time loop forever? Comment part 2. Jack, a lazy college student, buys an old toaster from a garage sale. When he tries it out, his toast disappears. Confused, he reaches in and whoosh, he's sucked into a vortex. Landing in the year 3000, robots run everything, and toast is now a luxury item. Check out my profile for Season 2. And subscribe. Season 1, The Toaster's Secret. Jack, a lazy college student, stumbles upon an old, rusty toaster at a garage sale. The seller warns him, this toaster has a history. Jack, uninterested, buys it for $5. Back at his dorm, he discovers that whatever he toasts comes out perfectly golden, but also grants him a random wish. First, he wishes for an A on his next exam. The next morning, he aces it without studying. Soon, he's using the toaster for everything. Instant cash, skipping assignments, even summoning pizza. But there's a catch. Each wish slightly distorts reality. One day, his roommate suddenly speaks fluent Russian, and Jack swears he never had a pet parrot. until one appears in Season 2, Jack in a Dilemma. Jack starts using the toaster to ace his exams, win baits, and avoid responsibilities. But soon, he notices strange glitches, time loops, objects disappearing, and reality shifting unpredictably. One day, he toasts a bagel, only to find himself stuck in a medieval kingdom where he's mistaken for a wizard, with no idea how to get back. He must use the toaster's powers wisely, while dealing with an angry king, who demands he fixes breakfast or face execution. Season 3, the final level. Jack finally escapes the medieval world, but returns to a timeline where his lazy self never existed. Instead, an overachieving, ultra-fit version of him has taken over. Worse, this version hates fun and has banned all forms of relaxation. Determined to reclaim his chill lifestyle, Jack must outsmart his ambitious doppelganger in a series of absurd challenges, including a battle of wits using the toaster. But just as he's about to win, the toaster sparks and speaks. Final level unlocked. Part 1. The Mistake. A man rushes out of a cafe, excited about a job interview. As he leaves, the camera zooms in on his wallet sitting on the table. A barista notices it, but is too busy to call out. Part 2. The Panic. The man gets to the interview, confident until the interviewer asks for his ID. He reaches for his wallet and realizes it's gone. His face drops. Cut to the cafe, where the barista finally notices and grabs the wallet. Part 3. The Unexpected Twist. Just as the man thinks all hope is lost, the interviewer smiles and pulls out the wallet. "You must be Alex," they say. Turns out, the barista delivered it ahead of him. The man sighs in relief. Maybe this job is meant to be. Would you like any tweaks or a different genre? Episode 1. The Discovery. Adu, a curious and mischievous teenager, finds a strange glowing coin on the ground. The moment he picks it up, the coin speaks. "You have unlocked unlimited adventure." Suddenly, the world around him starts glitching like a video game. Episode 2, The First Wish. Adu accidentally wishes for a burger and boom, a giant burger falls from the sky, crushing a car. Panicked, he realizes the coin grants wishes, but they come with chaotic consequences. Episode 3, The Unstoppable Chicken. Adu wishes for a pet, but instead, an enormous talking chicken appears and starts chasing him all over town, causing havoc. The chicken won't stop unless Adu figures out how to undo the wish. Check out my profile for episode 4. You ever get the feeling someone's watching you? Mark walked home late, the street eerily silent. His phone buzzed a known number. He hesitated, then answered. A whisper, "Don't look behind you." His heart pounded. He glanced over his shoulder, nothing. The voice continued, closer this time. "I said, don't." He broke into a sprint, his breath ragged. His apartment was just ahead. He fumbled with the keys, shaking. As the door slammed shut, his phone buzzed again. A photo of him, taken from right behind.
Adu was hiking through a dense jungle when he stumbled upon an ancient stone pathway covered in moss. He followed it, feeling an odd chill in the air. Suddenly, the path disappeared behind him, the jungle swallowing it whole. His heart pounded. No turning back now. He pressed forward, spotting a glowing symbol on a tree ahead. As he touched it, the ground rumbled. A hidden staircase appeared, leading deep underground. Curiosity won over fear. He descended. At the bottom, a golden idol sat on a pedestal.
Adu reached for it, then clicked. The walls began closing in. He grabbed the idol and dashed back up the stairs. Just as the entrance started sealing shut, he leapt through, barely making it out. Gasping, he looked back. The staircase was gone. The jungle was silent. In his hand, the idol glowed faintly. Then, a whisper echoed around him. "You weren't supposed to take that."